Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So a load of rumours have dropped for Horus Heresy. So I figured, you know what, let's have a little look at them and see what is potentially correct and what's a little bit far-fetched. So grab a brew, get chilled out and let's jump in. That's right, the Horus Heresy has got some rumours and we're pretty cool. So they're interesting. So I'm going to be putting the little screen up on the side as I just here, just there, just no, yes, no, there. Cameras. So it's going to be up there anyway. So it's going to be on the side of the screen, so you're going to be able to look at it. And we're going to have a little look. So let's put up the first picture. And the first picture is right here. So let's have a little look. So it says the number one, the upscaled Mark III kits will be coming, which will come out. No plastic breaches upgrade kit as planned yet. Well, we know that the upscaled Mark III is coming because Games Workshop have already shown us, and I have shown that picture multiple times from Warhammer Fest, so we know that's happening. Legion Imperialis is going to come out around October, November. Apparently there was a miscount in the warehouse and they needed to make more boxes. That's fair. I think that's a lot more of a legitimate reason for the delay rather than some weird 1930s, 1940s quotes from World War II from a group of guys that were a bit of a bunch of dicks. So yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense. This one, I really hope this is not true. Siege of Terror campaign book will be released around the same time as the Mark III, set in the opening of the sieges with the Sons of Horus versus Imperial Fist. Stop giving us these two legions, like seriously. The book will also be planned for next year, but got pushed up because of the Legion Imperialis delay. I'm not overly convinced about that, to be quite honest. If they're pushing that back to November, then and it was due to be out now, then that doesn't really make much sense. And you'll see why, because it kind of sort of contradicts each other with these rumours very shortly. Number 4 is obviously Legion, new Praetor and characters for each Legion, such as Worldies and Salamanders. That is a welcome thing, because there's about 5 Legions right now that actually need Praetor models. There's the World Eaters, Salamanders, Raven Guard, Iron Hands, and there is one other Legion that needs it. Iron Warriors. Let's not forget the Iron Warriors. They all need it. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting to see what they are, but hopefully they do come thick and fast. I'm not too sure about this Siege campaign book being pulled forward. It seems a bit weird because we have other things that are coming out that they could bring forward, such as plastic kits and things like that. So having a campaign book coming forward, I'm not overly too sure. So number 5 is the Punisher, Omega, and Akara Sikaran tanks will be released in plastic early to mid next year. Again, the roadmap goes up until June next year, so we kind of know roughly what's coming. And we haven't really seen anything. So early next year, I would probably say the earliest is going to be at least May, June next year at the earliest. The Horus Heresy Command Squad will be somewhat of a multi-kit 40k. This is complete and utter bullshit. The reason why we know this is completely and utter bullshit is because Games Workshop will not be doing Firstborn style Marines for Space Marines in Warhammer 40k. It is all Primaris. And there's rumours of a Primaris Command Squad for the Space Marines coming out, so that completely kills this. Now, the 30k Command Squad, yes, will probably be multi-part and have multiple options, but I can't see it being for a 40k Command Squad and a 30k Command Squad. They're not going to coincide with each other. There will be a Primaris Command Squad and there will be a 30k Command Squad. There will not be one kit to fit both games. That's just not happening. The new battle force. There's been a lot of talk about this new battle force starter set. The Dredo and the upscaled Mark III are going to be released separately. Yes, obviously the kits will be released separately, and I've heard a lot about this supposing starter battle force. It's supposed to contain 40 Mark III Marines, a Dredo, and a Land Raider. So one of these, essentially, one of these kits. So this isn't a new kit, obviously, because I've got it in my hand, and it's supposed to have like 40 Marines, and it's basically supposed to have some form of upgrades in it with special weapons. So it's either going to be the special weapon upgrade kit box, so you've got the 10 Volkite, Plasma, Melter, all of that in there, along with the 40 Marines, so you'll be able to make some tactical Marines, some tactical support squads, or some veteran squads with that. This goes on to say that the Mark III will be released in 2 boxes, a 20-man tactical Marines and a 10-man vet squad, more plastic melee weapons. And I don't necessarily believe this rumor. I do believe that we will definitely get a 20-man box, but I don't think we're going to get a 10-man box with additional melee and special weapons in that box, when they already sell a special weapon box, a heavy weapon box of various different types. And we know, because they've already told us in the roadmap, that there's going to be a melee weapon kit as well. So I think this veteran squad I don't think that's going to happen at all. World Eater Praetors and characters will come out in resin. Well, that's an obvious, that's a guarantee. You know, they're not going to be plastic. GW has thrown around the idea of plastic Warhound. Don't excite about as one. This is where I think we're now wishlisting. The same as a plastic Thunderhawk. Number 11, Dredos will be released in 2 boxes. Ah, right. Will be released in 2 boxes? Really? Is there more to that? Nope. Okay, so apparently the Dredo will be released like the Leviathan in 2 boxes. So cool. So number 12, the Resin Leviathan torso will be released. Current Resin Leviathans, Dark Angels, Night Lords, etc. will go out of production first, and then they will be released. Okay, that makes sense. That they've done it with the Contemptors, they'll probably do it with the Leviathans, and hopefully that means that we'll actually get other legions. We'll get legion-specific parts for Leviathans. It'd be interesting to see how that works in regards to the kit, because the Leviathans are pretty, like, their torsos are pretty big and like multiple parts. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Number 13, GW does not have CAD files for plastic despoiler arms, but no time frame on release. Call bullshit. Do you know how we know that's bullshit? Because they already sell despoiler arms in resin, and that comes from a CAD. Everything is sculpted on CAD. So this GW does not have CAD files is crap. What you could probably say is they don't have them tooled for plastic, which is probably makes more sense. But saying that they don't have CAD files for plastic despoiler arms and no time frame on release is complete crap, because they already sell the arms on Forge World, and they're originally made on CAD. Like everything else that GW does now is digitally sculpted. Even the Primarchs, like Horus Ascended, was digitally sculpted, unlike the previous Primarch models that were hand sculpted. Number 14, Assault Squad will be in a 10-man squad with a kind of limited melee option. Perhaps the Mark 6 despoiler plastic upgrade will have enough to kit out out an Assault Squad. I can guarantee now that the Assault Squad will have enough to give all of your guys close combat weapons and options for your Sergeant. Now, the whole squad can have combat shields, so I'm kind of expecting that the kit will come with at least 10 combat shields for your guys. You'll have the minimum options in there, and anything else that you really want, like crazy weapon options, you'll probably have to buy the separate melee weapons box that we know is coming out, which I will imagine will have things like dual lightning claws, thunder hammers, and all of that kind of stuff. So expect this Salt Marine kit to come with a power sword and a power fist, and maybe a little part for the back of the power fist, like the command squad that we currently get in the tactical squad kit has a limited options in there. 15, going forward, expect 3 new Horus Heresy plastic kits every year. Different options represent 1 kit. So the 2 Leviathan kits equals 1 kit in the eyes of Games Workshop. Also, a release like the Sakaran Omega will probably not count towards the 3 new kits. 3 new kits a year, okay, that seems fair. We've got quite a lot, and the basic amounts are already being fulfilled. We only nearly need Assault Marines and Breaches, and then we've pretty much got all of the basic troop choices. After that, I would imagine that will basically be the rescaling of the Cataphracti and the Tartarus Terminators, Mark IV, Mark II, probably Mark V, and then other plastic kits such as potential Recon and Seeker upgrades. So there's plenty for them to do in the long run that's not Legion specific. So yeah, okay, that's feasibly and doable. Sakaran Omega is ready to go in a separate kit like the Venerator. Amazing. We've not seen anything for it, so I'm not expecting that for at least another 18 months. Apparently, this one's interesting, because apparently Forge World and Games Workshop don't see eye to eye on which kits should go plastic. Well, as far as I'm aware, Games Workshop is Forge World, and Forge World is Games Workshop now, and that they've pretty much amalgamated into one big company, and that Forge World aren't a separate company anymore. So I don't understand how they can not see eye to eye with Games Workshop when they are Games Workshop in all intents and purposes. So I'm going to ignore number 17 because that sounds like more online GW drama, which is going to give content creators that are not like me ample amounts of content to create. So fuck number 17, not interested. 18, Solar Auxiliary will be the next new mystery army. I've said this multiple times. I've said it in on my other Rumour videos. We've said it in the podcast multiple times. That was all but confirmed when they shown Legion Imperialis off, and it's at the epic scaled Solar Auxiliary, the plastic, the Bane Blade that they shown off for the Solar Auxiliary. That was literally a little Ichabita one, and then they shown on an article it was actually a 40k scale picture. They weren't the epic version, so that was the plastic. The new plastic Bane Blade for the Solar Auxiliary was in that photo. If I can find that photo, I will stick it up there for you to see, but pretty much it was in one of the articles, so scroll through the community pages and you'll find it. But pretty much that's already literally been confirmed by Games Workshop themselves in all intents and purposes. 19, reason why tanks were released first in plastic is because the main complaint about army building Horus... No. The main reason why tanks were released first is because Forge World and Games Workshop were amalgamating, and the main reason why they had to get them out into plastic is because the Forge World weren't going to be producing them. So that was the big timescale thing, was because of that. The structure of the company in the background had nothing to do with people like us complaining that it was too expensive to get tanks from Forge World, because Games Workshop don't care about our anything to do with our thoughts on cost, because they already sell models that cost over £100, such as Imperial Knights and everything else like that. So if they really did care about our complaints about regarding cost, Games Workshop would reduce the prices, and they're not going to. So that is complete bullshit. The reason why is literally what was happening with Forge World, nothing to do with players' complaints about tanks. Legion, Imperialis, and Horus Heresy version 2 were deployed at the same time. COVID fucked up a lot of things. And Games Workshop are allegedly 2 years behind their release schedule, and things like 40k, Horus Heresy, Age of Sigmar, and stuff like that have literally not moved in that release schedule, but everything else around it has. So hopefully they'll get back on track. And we'll slowly start seeing that over the next few years when they start pulling that down. And apparently only one guy working on the assigned Necromunda models. Who gives a shit? Who cares? One thing that I want to know is how many people are actually working on the Heresy rules that are actually going to give us timely changes and FAQs, and that seems to be the more important issue for Horus Heresy players. But that is the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. There's a lot of rumours, a lot of juiciness. Are we getting it? Is it true? Well, we'll see. Again, rumours are rumours and lies until Games Workshop confirms otherwise. That is a quote taken from the master of the rumour, which is Master Valrak, who is currently probably in America enjoying himself. He's a really good guy, and he does a lot of cool stuff, so you should go and check him out if you do. Another thing as well, yeah, look, we will see. There's a roadmap for a reason, and I think what we're seeing in that roadmap is what we will get. And I think certain things may be moved around. The Siege of Cathod, the Siege of Terror book, I personally, I hope that isn't going to come out. I hope that they actually come out with some other things and actually build up towards the Siege of Terror rather than actual drop the Siege of Terror now within the first 2 years of second edition being around. That kind of feels a little bit lackluster, and I feel that there's a lot of things that they could do with the campaign books to make a lot of legions get a little bit of love. Like Salamanders and Raven Guard could quite easily be fleshed out and covered in something like an Estevan 5 Drop Site Massacre campaign book, which would be really, really cool, because essentially once that book is done, those two legions can be then generally left alone. The Iron Hands could be covered in maybe a Shattered Legions type campaign book, where you could have Shadrach Medicine and Tybalt Mar from the Sons of Horus both get models and have those two legions going at each other, but also have the army list and rules for Shattered Legions in that. That would also make a lot more sense. We've got the Cygnus Prime with the Blood Angels versus the Demons. That is a campaign book in itself. You've got Prospero could be redone as well. You have a lot of other things could be done, as well as tying into Legion Imperialis. So like a dual campaign book for, say, Beta Gammon. So you could have a large-scale campaign used in Epic and have campaign scenarios there also for the larger-scaled Horus Heresy game. There's a lot of cool things that they could do with these campaign books, so I hope they just don't jump in and do the Siege of Terror, because that would be rather shit, because I think the Siege of Terror kind of needs to be sort of done in a 2-scale thing, so you have the Siege of Terror for the Horus Heresy larger-scale players like myself, and then the Siege of Terror campaign that would be done for the sort of epic scale as well. And I think going forward, that's how Games Workshop needs to approach this, and that would make it really good. So again, if you do like this content and you like my videos, please subscribe, give this video a like, drop a comment of what you think of these rumours, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future content that I make. We do try to pump out a podcast every Thursday on the Horus Heresy, and we are over 10 episodes strong, so it's really, really good. So though you can go and check that out as well. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.